All right, deputies, are you all deputies,
Good
are you
morning,
all
Your
ready?
Honor. One
Oh,
moment. I'm trying to get my microphone to work properly.
okay, no worries. I normally just make it to the announcements to everyone, so you've got some time.
Yeah, we're ready when you are, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10 a.m. here this morning on Saturday. This is April 12th of 2025. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe, and I'm one of the associate magistrate judges here. This is one in Clayton County. This is your first appearance hearing this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple of announcements here before we get started. We are streaming live here on YouTube. I remind you of that, ladies and gentlemen, because one, if you are having trouble hearing me, either as I give you your directions this morning or as we proceed through this process, please let me know so that I can either adjust my volume or make sure that I speak in a way that you are able to hear me. Again, this is your first appearance here this morning, so I tell you that because I am not here to try your case, to take a plea, or to have any legal discussions with you about the specific facts of your case. The purpose of today's hearing is to inform you about what you've been charged with by the police, advise you of certain rights, set bond on those offenses where I can, schedule a preliminary hearing for you if necessary, and then determine if you require the assistance of an attorney if you qualify. Now, each of you, ladies and gentlemen, has the right to remain silent. So I tell you that because, again, this is being recorded, so anything you say is subject to being used against you later, not in addition to the fact that you make every one of us around you witnesses. Now, in addition to your right to remain silent, each of you has the right to a presumption of innocence, the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you, and if you can't afford one, I will consider appointing one to represent you. And then lastly, if you are not a citizen, there are some charges today that may adversely affect your immigration status, so you may want to speak to an immigration attorney. Now, in addition to telling you what you have been charged with, ladies and gentlemen, my job also this morning is to advise you of your bond. Now, of course, a bond is what will allow you to be released while your case is pending. There are three ways that you can make bond. You can make bond by either paying cash, by using a commercial bonding company, or by a property bond. And we're going to talk about each of the three. If you desire to pay cash, then what will happen this morning is I will tell you, for example, that your bond amount is $6,000. You've been charged with battery family violence, and your bond is $6,000. That means either you or someone you know would bring down to the sheriff's office the $6,000, and then at that point you would pay any additional fees that the sheriff requires, and you would be released while your case is pending. If you do not have the total amount that I tell you, you can use what's called a bonding company. And that bonding company typically requires anywhere from 12 to 15% of the bond. But the difference is, ladies and gentlemen, you do not get that money back. So if I tell you you are charged with battery family violence, I tell you that your bond is $6,000, you would be required to pay roughly about $750. But again, that money remains with the bonding company. And then the last way to make bond would be if you wanted to use a deed to your property, a property bond. So if either you or someone you know owns a piece of property and has 3 times the amount of equity in that property as is your bond, they can bring their deed down to the property and use that. Now, once your case is closed, you get that deed back, or that person gets the deed back. Now, in addition to telling you what you've charged with, telling you what your bond is, there are some of you all who will also have special conditions on your bond. And what that means is I may tell you not to return to a place. I may tell you not to have contact with anyone or certain people. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me, because your failure to listen when I tell you those things could subject you to additional felony charges such as aggravated stalking or influencing a witness, and up to 20 years in prison and a $20,000 fine. So if I tell you don't have contact with somebody, don't email them, don't text them, don't DM them, don't even do something as easy as write them a song. If I tell you don't return somewhere, don't do it. even if that's somewhere that you were living prior to this happening, do not return unless you're with the sheriff and it is 10 days since you've been bonded out. And you only go there to get the things that belong to you and you leave until your case is closed or your bond is modified. Now, there will be some people, ladies and gentlemen, that based on your history, based on the fact that you're on probation, I will not be able to set bond. And if one of those situations happens to be yourself, I will give you a new court date where bond will be reconsidered. Now, lastly is the preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is a hearing that is held for those of you all who are charged with felonies automatically if you don't make bond. It's where you are present, the judge is present, and your attorney is present along with the police officer, and they review your case to determine if there's enough evidence to go forward. It's not your trial, but it is just another stage, another hearing that may help resolve your case. Now, for those of you all charged with misdemeanors, you don't have an automatic right to that preliminary hearing. But again, if you would like that hearing, just like those charged with felonies that don't make their bond, I'm going to ask you this morning whether you want to have that hearing if you are charged with a misdemeanor. And if you would like to have it, all you would simply tell me is, yes, Judge, I would like that have my first appearance hearing. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start, excuse me, first appearance. If I could have everyone please raise your right hand and repeat, and you'll say I do at the end of my repetition here. Ladies and gentlemen, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give, as well as what you've provided on your court-appointed counsel documents, is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And if that is the case, please repeat, I do.
I do. I do.
All right. All right, so Ms. Jartu, if you would, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you will translate here from English to Spanish and Spanish to English will be the truth? And if so, say I do.
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Deputy,
confirm
yes.
that you can hear me clearly, please.
Yes, I can. Yes, ma'am. Deputy, I have two here that were marked Spanish speaking, Mr. Julio Lopez and Rafael Salado, but I see you have four. Can you give me the other two names?
Who else then?
This Garcia, you got Lopez and Aguilera.
You said Aguilera, and what was the other?
Lopez.
Okay, I have Lopez and Salado, and you said Aguilera, and what is the other?
Perez Garcia.
Salado Mario Rafael.
Deborah, are you able to assist with names?
Perez Garcia, he was.
I don't see those names, Your Honor. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think either of those names were on the list this morning.
Garcia was continued to from yesterday.
There was two on the add-on list that they sent in the email, Your Honor.
Okay, maybe I didn't see that, but you said Perez Garcia was from yesterday. And what was the other gentleman's name?
Looks like Contrail Aguilar.
What was it?
Aguilar Garcia.
Salvador.
Mario Rafael.
He on the list.
Rafael.
I have Salado. Okay. Okay. So we'll look those two up. All right, gentlemen, if we could just move them a little closer so they can make sure they hear us.
Pick him up.
And Ms. Jartu, when you're ready, if you just want to introduce yourself.
Hola, señores. Buenos días. Hoy día les voy a servir de intérprete.
All right. You all hear her, gentlemen?
Señoras, ¿me pueden oír bien? Señores, ¿me pueden oír?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Well, good morning. My name is Judge Thorpe, and I am here for your first appearance hearing.
Bueno, señores, buenos días. Yo soy el juez Thorpe. Estoy aquí para llevar a cabo su comparecencia inicial.
Okay. What that means is I'm going to advise each of you of what the police have charged you with, as well as talk to you.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Your feed is frozen. There at the jail, deputies, can you hear the interpreter?
Yeah, I still hear you.
Oh, okay.
Just the judge is frozen.
Happened there. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now we can, Your Honor.
Okay, that was weird. Okay. I was saying, my apologies, gentlemen. I was saying my name is Judge Thorpe, and this is your first appearance where I'm going to talk to you about what you've been charged with.
Disculpe, señores. Como dije anteriormente, yo soy el juez Thor y les voy a hablar sobre los cargos que se han formulado en su contra.
Okay. Now, as we go through our first appearance today, gentlemen, please remember this is being recorded, so please be careful with what you say to me.
Mientras estamos haciendo esta audiencia de la comparecencia inicial, tenga presente, por favor, que esta audiencia se está grabando, así que tenga cuidado con lo que vayan a decir.
Okay. Now, first, let me tell you, each of you all has the right to remain silent.
Primero, les quiero decir a todos que cada uno de ustedes tienen el derecho de permanecer callado,
You have the right to a presumption of innocence.
el derecho a ser presunto inocente,
You have the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
el derecho a encauzamiento por el gran jurado cuando se trata de delitos graves y
You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
y el derecho a una acusación cuando se trata de delitos menores. Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora con un jurado.
You have a right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
Tiene derecho a exigir la presencia de testigos para que declaren a nombre suyo.
You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Tienen el derecho a ver, a escuchar, interrogar a los testigos que se presentan a declarar en su contra.
You have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
Tienen derecho a declarar a nombre suyo y presentar pruebas en su defensa.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and if you cannot afford one, one can be appointed to you if you qualify.
Tiene derecho a ser representado por un abogado. Y si no tuviera los medios para contratar un abogado, se le asignará uno si usted cumple los criterios.
If you are not a U.S. citizen, some charges may adversely affect you, and if they do, you may want to speak to an immigration attorney.
Si no tuviera la ciudadanía estadounidense, algunos cargos pudieran tener un efecto negativo en cuanto a su estatus inmigratorio, y si es que sí, deberán consultar con un abogado.
Now, in addition to talking to each of you about what you've been charged with by the police, I am also going to discuss bond, which is an amount that each of you can pay to be released while your case is pending.
Además de hablar con ustedes sobre los cargos que le han formulado de la policía, también voy a hablar con ustedes sobre la fianza. Y la fianza es una cantidad de dinero que se puede pagar para que pueda salir en libertad de la cárcel mientras el caso siga pendiente.
You may make bond in one of three ways.
Puede pagar la fianza de tres maneras.
You may make bond by paying cash, by bonding company, or by property bond.
Puede pagar la fianza en efectivo a través de una agencia comercial o con una propiedad.
If you choose to pay cash, you would pay the total bond that I'm going to give you this morning to the sheriff, and then along with any fees they require, and then you would be released until you are asked to come back to court.
Si elige pagar la fianza en efectivo, pagará la cantidad de la fianza más las tarifas asociadas a la oficina del sheriff, la oficina de los alguaciles, y luego, cuando el caso se termine, se le devolverá el dinero pagado.
If you do not have the total in cash, you can use a bonding company that only requires you pay 12 to 15% of the bond. However, that money is not returned to you at the end.
Si no tuviera la cantidad de la fianza en efectivo, podría hacer uso de una compañía comercial de fianzas que le cobraría entre el 12 y 15% de la fianza, pero la diferencia es que no se le va a devolver esa tarifa cuando el caso se termine.
Okay. Lastly, if you so choose, you could do what is called a property bond, where either you or someone you know brings the deed to their property down for the sheriff to hold it until your case is closed.
La última manera, si elige hacerlo así, sería una fianza de propiedad, donde usted o alguien que usted conoce presenta la escritura de un inmueble a la oficina de los alguaciles y la guardarán hasta que su caso se concluya.
Now, in addition to telling you what you've been charged with and how much your bond is, some of you all may have special conditions because of the charges you have been charged with.
Además de informarle de los cargos imputados y la cantidad de su fianza, algunos de ustedes pueden tener condiciones especiales debido a la naturaleza de los cargos.
As an example, if I tell you that you were to have no contact with someone because you are alleged to have struck them, that means do not have any contact at all with that person.
Por ejemplo, si yo le dijera que no tuviera ningún contacto en absoluto con una persona porque se alega que usted ha pegado a esa persona, eso quiere decir que no debe tener ningún contacto en absoluto con esa persona.
That means do not email them, do not write them, do not text them, do not send them a direct message of any kind.
Eso significa que no le mande correos electrónicos, cartas, mensaje de texto, ningún contacto directo de cualquier forma.
For some of you, I may tell you that you are not to return to a particular residence. Go ahead.
Algunas personas le puedo decir, por ejemplo, que no regrese a una residencia en particular.
Okay. If the residence I tell you not to return to is somewhere that you were living, please do not return until your case is closed or that you are accompanied by the sheriff to get the items that belong to you, and then you must leave immediately.
Si yo le diera que no regrese a un lugar que era su residencia, por favor no vuelva ahí hasta que su caso esté cerrado o hasta estar acompañado de un agente de los alguaciles para recoger sus pertenencias. Y una vez que recoja sus pertenencias, tiene que salir de ahí de inmediato.
Okay. And Deputy, I'm sorry, can you give me those two names? Because I don't see any paperwork on them or anything from yesterday. So I'm going to ask and see if the sheriff's office can send it over to me so that I can see these two gentlemen. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I had a Perez Garcia. Is that correct? That was one of them.
Where's Garcia?
Yes.
And what's his first name? Or is that the
Soy García.
Yeah, the Perez Garcia?
Señor Pérez García, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Es Artemio García Pérez.
Artemio García Pérez.
Sí.
And can you ask him how does he spell his first name?
Y Artemio, señor, ¿cómo se escribe? ¿Cómo se deletrea?
Los iniciales Artemio García Pérez.
My initials are Artemio Garcia Perez. Your Honor, would you like me to ask him again?
Your Honor,
Yes.
it's Artemio.
Emio Garcia Perez.
And
Okay.
Garcia Perez, two last names.
And then I think you had one, you said Cantrell was the last name?
Marcos?
Okay, Marcos Cantrell. Okay. Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna shoot them a message. Just let them know. I don't even see them listed on yesterday's.
Permítanos un momento, señores.
appearance.
Ah, sí.
Let's see.
We started at 11.
And this was, and Deputy, they were on, they were on yesterday and were continued?
Donato and Perez Garcia was on yesterday, Your Honor, and they was continued from yesterday. Lopez and Aguilera was for today. Aguilera.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get their paperwork, because otherwise I can't. I don't want to continue them again if we don't have to, but I don't have anything on either of them to know what they have been charged with.
Your Honor, if it helps on Sheriff's website, they have Aguilar spelled with 2 R's, Agillar, and then second last name, Contarero.
Yeah, I have this list here and it doesn't have anything even similar. Yeah.
Hey, we need to use the paperwork to go see you. Nope, that's not the one.
Okay. All right, so gentlemen, if I could please have everyone raise their right hand.
Por favor, señores, levante la mano derecha.
Gentlemen, do you swear or affirm that the information that you will provide here this morning will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Señores, juran que la información que van a dar aquí esta mañana será la verdad o la verdad y nada más que la verdad de Dios lo jura.
Sí, la verdad.
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Jartu, what we can do then is have take care of the 2 gentlemen that were on my list that I have paperwork for. And
Yes,
then if
sir.
you would like to, because I suspect they're probably not gonna get to me immediately, then I can always contact you if we get it before the first appearance, if you'd like to just pop back in.
Yes, sir. You could just send me a message, okay?
So I have my 2. What is it? Okay, so the 2 I have are Julio Lopez and Rafael Salado. If I could have those 2 up, please. Okay, and so what's your name?
Señor, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Julio López.
Julio López.
All right, so Mr. Lopez, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence.
Muy bien, señor López. A usted se le ha imputado el cargo de agresión física, violencia en el hogar.
That is a misdemeanor, sir.
Es un delito menor, señor.
Your bond amount, sir, is $2,500.
La fianza es de $2,500.
You do have special conditions, and those are to stay away from Randy Singleton.
Usted tendrá condiciones especiales de mantenerse alejado de Randy Singleton.
You are also to stay away from 8789 Parliament Place.
También que no vaya más al 87-89 de la Parliament Place.
Okay. Do you understand that, sir?
¿Entiende eso, señor?
Entiendo.
I understand.
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
May I ask a question?
Okay, let me get through the information I have, sir, first, and then, of course, I will definitely entertain your question.
Permítame, por favor, que le dé toda la información que tengo para usted primero y claro que sí, después atiendo su pregunta.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando actualmente, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
And how much are you making per month?
¿Y cuánto está ganando al mes?
Maybe a cada semana a veces gano 500, 600, 700.
Maybe each week I make about 500, 600, 700.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir. And so you will have a lawyer to help you on your case, free of charge.
Entonces le voy a designar un abogado de oficio, señor, y habrá un abogado que le ayude con este cargo. ¿Está bien?
Sí, está bien. ¿Puedo hacer un comentario?
Yes, that's fine. May I make a comment?
Yes, but please remember this is being recorded and you do not want to tell me anything specific about your case.
Sí, señor, pero acuérdese que esta audiencia se está grabando, así que usted no debe de decir nada específico sobre este caso.
Sí, yo sé.
I know.
Okay, how can I help you, sir?
Sí, mire, yo soy el dueño de la casa.
The thing is, I'm the owner of the house.
So that would be something to speak with your attorney about, but at this time, I'm going to have to ask that you stay away until that is modified.
Ese es un detalle que usted debe consultar con el
Go
abogado.
back into the cell.
Entonces yo le voy a tener que pedir que no regrese ahí hasta que sus condiciones de fianza se modifiquen.
Entonces, ¿a dónde voy a vivir? Si es mi propiedad.
So where will I live if that's my property?
Unfortunately, sir, you will have to find another temporary place to live until your case is closed or your attorney modifies the bond.
Lamentablemente tendrá que buscar otro lugar donde vivir hasta que el caso se cierre o hasta su abogado modifique las condiciones de la fianza.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Gracias.
All right, if I could speak to Mr. Rafael Salado.
Señor Rafael Salado,
Solano?
She put it wrong.
Damn, Ron, you let her beat you like that?
No, they should have never stepped in the way, Larry.
Are you Mr. Salado?
¿es usted el señor Salado? Yes.
Soy Rafael Mayo Salado, así es mi apellido primero.
Rafael Mayo Salado.
Eh,
That's my first last name.
Okay. Sir, you are charged with one count of criminal trespass, which is a misdemeanor.
A usted se le ha formulado el cargo de invasión al lugar, que es un delito menor.
okay.
And your bond amount, sir, is $2,500.
Y la fianza será de $2,500.
¿Cuánto?
How much?
$2,500.
$2,500.
Pero ¿por qué?
But why?
Porque,
There are some allegations that you were in a place that you were not supposed to be.
pero por pasar,
Hay unas alegaciones que usted estaba en un lugar donde no debería de haber estado.
no, ¿cómo no? Pues ahí vivía yo, ahí vivía yo.
No, that's where I was living.
Okay. Well, sir, right now, remember what I said earlier. I can't get into the details of your case, so please save that to discuss with your attorney.
Bueno, por el momento, como mencioné anteriormente, no puedo meterme en los detalles del caso, así que por favor, explíquele eso a su abogado.
No, pues que yo pasé ahí donde vivía, fui a traer una cosa, pero
Como dice,
pasar
one moment, Your Honor. ¿Cómo dice, señor?
yo pasé ahí nomás porque estaba lloviendo, pero yo ahí vivía. Pero yo nomás pasé a traer una ropa que tenía, pero
I
estaba,
just went in there to
Sir,
get
sir.
some because
Okay, Okay. So, Mr. Salado, I'm going to have to stop you here because you are admitting to a crime right now. And so,
Señor, le tiene que parar en este momento porque en este momento usted está admitiendo haber cometido un delito.
okay. And so let me just go over Mr. Salado. No, sir. No,
Señor,
sir.
voy a
no,
pagar, entonces voy a decir toda la verdad lo que hay ahí.
but I'm trying to tell the whole
Me hacen pasar por uno, son espíritus que hay.
this some spirits.
Entonces, no quieren ni que hable.
So Ms. Jartu, can you please advise him that he is no longer permitted to speak, please?
Ya no se le permite hablar, señor, por favor.
Okay. Mr. Salado, I have appointed you a court-appointed attorney. Your bond is $2,500 and you are not to return back to that place again.
Señor, yo le he nombrado un abogado, tiene una fianza de $2,500 y usted no debe de regresar a ese lugar.
All right, good luck. Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
All right. All right, Mr. Jartu, that's all I have, and they have not sent it to me, so I'll send you a message if I get it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right, deputies. Deputies, I believe that takes us to the female on jots. First up, I have Miss Riley Daniel. Then I have Ashley Lane. And third, I have Samoria Lowry.
Yes, sir. Stand by. Your Honor, what was the first name you gave?
I had a Riley Daniel, Riley and Daniel, Ashley Lane, and then Lockwood. All right. Are you Miss Riley Daniel? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Daniel, you are charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree, ma'am. That is a felony, ma'am. However, I did review the paperwork that was provided to me here this morning, ma'am. And I'm going to advise you here this morning that I am going to dismiss your case. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to go away forever. But as of today, ma'am, the information I was provided was lacking. And so for today's purposes, you'll be allowed to go home in a few hours. Now, you may get a notice in the mail. You may get rearrested once they correct what they were supposed to. But as of today, ma'am, your case is dismissed. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. All right, next up should be Miss Lane. All right, are you Miss Lane?
Yes, sir.
Right, ma'am. I am holding here, as I said earlier, I'm Judge Thorpe here, and so I'm going to discuss with you your charges this morning, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Ms. Lane, you are charged with 1 count of failure to maintain lane, 1 count of violation of striking a fixed object. Ma'am, those are both misdemeanors. I have reviewed the information that you provided to me here this morning, ma'am, and based on what you provided to me, I am going to release you here today. Now, that doesn't mean that your case is closed. It simply means that you will not be in custody. And so that will mean that you'll have to keep an eye out in the mail so that you'll get your next court date via mail, okay?
Sir.
Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, then that's all I have for you, ma'am. She'll need to sign the document. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
After Miss Lowry, I have Jamisha Penn, Autumn Willis, and I believe that should be all the females on job. Are you Miss Lowry?
Yes, sir.
Miss Lowry, you are charged with 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That is a misdemeanor, ma'am. Now, because you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have a right to that preliminary hearing that I spoke of earlier, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, ma'am, or waive it?
I'd like to have it.
All right, so if you'd like to have that hearing, because it's a misdemeanor, if you don't make the bond that I'm going to give you here this morning, your next court date is going to be May 13th. It'll be at 8:30 a.m. and that'll be via Zoom. Again, that'll be May 13th, 8:30 a.m. and that'll be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Now, your bond amount, ma'am, is going to be $2,000.
Yes.
And I have reviewed the information that you provided to us this morning. And based on the information that you've provided, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. Do you have any questions for me?
The bond is 2,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Are you Miss Lowry? Excuse me, Miss Lowry.
No, you just talked to her.
Oh, I apologize. I meant Miss Penn. Excuse me.
Yes.
Give me 1 second, Miss Penn. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so Ms. You are charged with 1 count of terroristic threat, ma'am, as a misdemeanor. Now, because it's a misdemeanor, that means you have a right to that preliminary hearing that I spoke of earlier, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, ma'am, or waive it? Ma'am?
I said wait.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So I am going to show here that you have waived your right to that hearing. Once we are done speaking, ma'am, the deputies there to your right will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Now, as to your bond amount, ma'am, your bond amount is $5,000, and you do have a special condition, ma'am, and that is to stay away from the alleged victim in the matter, a Sophia Rashid. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Then it shouldn't be no problem staying away from her, right? Him or her. So that's all I have for you, ma'am. I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. You will get a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Thank you.
All right, ma'am. Good luck to you. And are you Autumn Willis?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Willis, you were charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting as a misdemeanor and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime as a felony. Now, ma'am, I have reviewed the information that was provided to me here this morning regarding your matter. I have dismissed the felony firearm charge, so the only charge remaining against you is the misdemeanor theft by shoplifting. Now, because it is a misdemeanor, you have a right to that preliminary hearing that I mentioned, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
Here.
I'm sorry?
That here.
All right, ma'am. So I'm going to give you a bond this morning, but if for some reason you do not make your bond, your next court date is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m., and that'll be via Zoom. Again, that'll be May 13th, 8:30 a.m., and that'll be via Zoom. Now, your bond amount here this morning is $3,500. And you do have special conditions, ma'am, and those will be to stay away from 2940 Anvil Block Road, where this was alleged to have happened, a Walmart. Again, that's 2940 Anvil Block Road. Do you understand that, Ms. Willis?
Sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am, I believe that's all I have for you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I think that takes us off Johnson. I think I had Lockwood, McMurrin, and Varner. Is that correct?
Buford, I mean.
Oh, Buford as well? Okay.
You're correct, Your Honor. Lockwood, go ahead.
Good morning,
Morning. And what's your first name, ma'am?
Denise.
Are you Miss Lockwood?
Lockwood,
Is that a yes?
yes. Lockwood.
Miss Lockwood, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor. Because it's a misdemeanor, ma'am, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
Could you explain that to me what it is? Because I never been in trouble.
Yes, ma'am. A preliminary hearing is where you're present, the judge is present, and your attorney are present. And that's where they consider the evidence that the police officer arrested you with. At that point, the judge can make the decision that there wasn't enough evidence, and he can choose to dismiss the case if he so desires, or he can push it forward to the actual prosecutor who will consider the evidence against you. Or you could say, Judge, I don't want to even have that hearing at all. I'll just skip it and send it right on up to the prosecutor. It's really up to you.
So if I send it out to the prosecutors, what happens after the next?
It's the same process. The only thing is you're just skipping a step, so it's a little quicker if you waive it, but not by much.
Okay, I'll go with the waiver, the second
All
one.
right, ma'am. So I'm going to show that you have requested that I waive your preliminary hearing here this morning. And so what's going to happen, ma'am, is when you and I are done speaking, the deputies there will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay? Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, so other than that, Ms. Lockwood, I've told you your bond is $2,500. You have waived your right. This is a misdemeanor. The only other thing I need to let you know is I have appointed you a court-appointed counsel, so you will have an attorney free of charge for your case, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, ma'am, any questions I can answer for you?
No, sir, have a great one.
All right, you too, ma'am. Good luck to you. All right, whoever you got next. What's your last name, ma'am?
Varner, V as in Victor, ARNER.
All right, so Ms. Varner, you are charged with 1 count of obstruction of an officer, 1 count of cruelty to children, 1 count of driving under the influence, 1 count of DUI, 1 count of speeding, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. So Ms. Varner, a few things I need to say to you here this morning. I thoroughly reviewed your paperwork because I wanted to make sure that I had everything before I tell you the decision that I made on your case. Oh, I see it here. Mr. Garcia is here on a fugitive from justice. I've got his paperwork, deputy. It was in the back. I see it. So I'll call Ms. Jartu back shortly.
Okay.
But getting back to you, Ms. Varner, I reviewed this thoroughly. I'm going to advise you, ma'am, as of today, the obstruction of an officer, cruelty to children, and the DUI have all been dismissed. Now, I need to be clear with you, ma'am. That does not mean that they will not reaccuse these at a later time. What I'm simply telling you is that the information that I was provided was lacking some things that I needed in order to move forward with the charges today. Now, you still will be held on the speeding and on the disorderly conduct. So at some point, don't be surprised if you either get a letter or you are rearrested on those charges again. But as of today, they have been dismissed. Yes, ma'am, they do legally have a right to rearrest you. But as of today, those charges are dismissed. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you do have a bond on the speeding and on the disorderly conduct. The speeding is a preset bond amount of $2,500. The disorderly conduct is a preset bond amount of $1,500 for a total of $4,000, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, because you are charged with misdemeanors, ma'am, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
When is the hearing?
It would be May 13th if you don't make your bond.
I'll just pass right now.
Okay, so I am gonna show, ma'am, that you are requesting to waive your preliminary hearing here this morning. And so when you and I are done speaking, Ms. Varner, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Now, looking over the information that you provided, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, ma'am. And so if you would like a attorney to assist you on your case, ma'am, you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions about anything for me?
No, thank you for your service.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being so kind and respectful. I really do greatly appreciate that, ma'am. You have a good rest of your day.
You too, thank you.
So, you have one more female, Your Honor.
Okay. And are you Miss McMurrin? What's your last name, ma'am?
Davenport Williams.
You said Williams?
Davenport.
Okay. The last name, is the last name Williams or Davenport?
I got two last names.
Okay. Give me 1 second, ma'am. I'm just looking through it. So I believe I remember seeing. Do you remember what they booked you under?
My two last names, Davenport Williams.
Yeah, they have Davenport as the last name.
Yeah, that's what I see. It's as Davenport. Okay. All right, so ma'am, you were charged with you had 2 counts here. One is a theft by bringing a stolen piece of property into the state of Georgia, which is a felony. And then the other is possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce, ma'am, which is a misdemeanor. Do you understand that? Ma'am?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. And so I'm going to go over this with you, tell you what you've been charged with, which I have, and then advise you of what the bond is. Now, for the felony, ma'am, the bond is $3,500. For the misdemeanor marijuana, the bond amount is $1,500. So your total bond is $5,000. Do you understand that? Ma'am? Okay. Now, because you are charged with a felony, if you don't make your bond, your next court date is going to be May 12th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's going to be May 12th, 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, ma'am? Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Before you were taken into custody, Ms. Williams, were you working? Yes, were you working? Did you have a job?
In Ohio, yeah.
I'm sorry?
In Ohio.
You said no, you did not have a job?
In Ohio.
Oh, in Ohio. Okay. After this is resolved, do you intend to return back to Ohio?
Yes.
Okay.
This was never supposed to happen.
Okay, well, okay. So I don't want to get too far into your case because then I don't want you to say something that's gonna hurt you. What kind of work were you doing?
I was the caregiver.
Okay. Do you know if you will have that job if you were released?
You can't have no family for this job.
Okay. Okay. So then based on that, ma'am, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. And so you will have a lawyer that you don't have to pay for on your case, okay? Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about anything at this point? And now when I say questions, please be careful. I don't want you to say something that's gonna hurt you here because this is being recorded. Do you have any procedural questions?
Is it 10% here too?
It's 12 to 15% here, ma'am. And so on the $5,000, you're probably looking at about $750, $600 that you'd be responsible for. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. And what's your name, sir?
Matthews, Buford.
Buford?
Who's in?
How you doing?
One second, Mr. Buford. Kick me out. All right. All right. So Buford, Degree, and Hunt should be up. All right. So Mr. Buford, you are charged with one count of misdemeanor simple battery. Again, that is a misdemeanor, sir. So because you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have it or waive it, sir? I'm sorry?
Wave.
All right. So I am going to show you are waiving your hearing. When we're done, sir, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Now, after your bond, sir, your bond amount, based on the information I have, sir, I'm showing you are on probation. I do not have authority to grant you bond today. Now, because I don't have authority to grant you bond, in addition, because you don't have a preliminary hearing day, however, you do have a bond hearing date coming up. That bond hearing is going to be May 16th of 2025. Do you understand that?
Now, can I waive that? Cause I
No,
can't,
sir, you cannot waive a bond hearing. No, sir.
how
Your
can
next,
I got,
sir, your next, listen to me, your next court date is May 16th, where they can reconsider bond. Now, I do have to advise you, sir, that you do have a special condition here. So if at some point you do get bond, you are to stay away from Kelvin Warren. Do you understand? Sir?
yes, sir. I got a question.
All right, be careful what you tell me. What is it, sir?
So how can I get a bond hearing if I'm on probation and I can't get bond?
You do not have a bond. At that point, they'll reconsider it. The probation officer is going to put a warrant out for you, and then they're going to probably try to wrap all that up in one, and then you'll be able to get a bond at that point. They're going to make the decision whether they're going to revoke you or not.
That's on May 16th.
Yes, sir, May 16th.
Almost.
All right, thank you. Next up should be Degree, Hunt, and then McKinney. Are you Mr. Degree?
Yes, I understand, sir.
Mr. Degree, you are charged with one count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime as a felony, one count of possession of a Drug Controlled Substances Act as a felony, and possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. Because you are charged with a felony, sir, if you don't make the bond I'm going to give you this morning, your next court date is going to be May 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's May 12th, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Now, your bond amount, sir, beginning with the firearm charge is $15,000. With the drug charge, sir, is $10,000. And with the marijuana charge, it is $1,500 for a total bond of $26,500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as to your court-appointed information, I see here you are working. About how much are you earning per month?
When I filled out my paperwork, I said I wasn't working.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir, so you will have a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
I have not a question, but I was told to tell you that when I was brought in, my all my property wasn't brought in with me.
Oh, your what wasn't brought in with you?
All my property, my wallet wasn't brought in with the rest of my property.
Well, where was it left?
When I was arrested, I don't know. The officer had it.
Okay. Let me advise you to please tell your attorney that. Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir. All right, deputies, Ms. Jartu has returned. If I could have Perez Garcia and I believe it was Mr. Aguiar. And deputies, while we're waiting, Mr. Santiago does speak English though, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. May I have your name, sir?
Señor, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Marcos Aguilar Candrero.
Okay.
Marcos Aguilar Contarero.
All right, so, sir, you are charged with one count of driving without a license,
Se le ha imputado un cargo, señor, de manejar sin licencia,
one count of following too closely,
un cargo de manejar muy de cerca a otro auto,
one count of affixing a plate to conceal identity,
un cargo de poner una placa para ocultar la identidad del vehículo
and one count of hit and run.
y un cargo de chocar y huir.
Now, your bond amount, sir, I'm going to go through it with for each charge.
Voy a repasar la fianza para cada cargo, señor.
For the driving without a license, your bond amount is $1,500.
La fianza de manejar sin licencia es $1,500.
For the following too closely, your bond amount is $1,000.
Es $1,000 por lo de manejar muy de cerca a otro auto.
For the conceal of the license plate, it's $500.
Por la infracción de ocultar con una placa es $500.
And for the hit and run, it's $2,500.
Y por el cargo de chocar o huir, $2,500.
Okay. Your total bond is $4,500.
La fianza total es de $4,500.
Okay. Are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando usted actualmente, señor? Yes.
Okay. And how much are you making per month?
¿Y cuánto está ganando al mes? If the interpreter may ask. Dijo
Yes,
1,500? 1,500.
Okay. So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay?
Basado en información, señor, le voy a nombrar un abogado para ayudarle sin costo para usted en su caso. ¿Está bien?
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything for me, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Más si ya puedo pagar la fianza porque tengo unos amigos que me dijeron que me iban a ayudar con la fianza.
Just that if I could go ahead and pay the bond because I have some friends who said they were going to help me with that.
Okay. And so that will be a conversation that you will want to have with the sheriff's office.
Está bien. Esa es una conversación que usted va a querer tener con los agentes de la oficina de los alguaciles.
Okay. Any other questions I can answer for you?
¿Alguna otra pregunta que le pudiera contestar?
Otra también. De la de fuga, yo no me fui, el policía a mí me arrestó al lado del carro el que iba yo.
Another thing, as far as the run, I didn't leave. The officer arrested me right there.
All right. And sir, we're not going to get into too much detail on your case, but I am going to tell you one last thing, and that is, if you don't make your bond, your next court date is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m.
No podemos entrar en detalles sobre su caso, pero una cosa que sí le quiero decir, si no sale bajo fianza, su próxima audiencia será el 13 de mayo.
All right. Deputies, if we could, I don't believe that this gentleman here filled out any paperwork for the CAA, just so that we have a record of it and I can write on it and let them know he'll have a court-appointed attorney. If you could just make sure he fills one out, please.
Señor alguacil, se le puede poner a llenar el formulario para tener la documentación que le nombraron.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
We sent one with the CA form, we just put Spanish on top of it. You should have a blank one for him already.
Okay, I mean, I'll try looking for it again. I just went through the stack again and didn't see his, but I only had those two that I saw with Spanish. But if it's on here, I'll take a look again. All right, and then the other should be Perez Garcia. All right, are you Mr. Perez Garcia?
¿Es usted el señor Pérez García?
Sí, pero mi nombre es Artemio García Pérez. Mi inicial de nombre es Artemio.
Yes, but my name is Artemio Garcia Gutierrez.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Garcia, my name is Judge Thorpe, and I am here to discuss with you why you are here. Your case is a little different from the other.
Bueno, señor, yo soy el juez Thorpe. Estoy aquí para hablar con usted, para explicarle por qué usted está aquí. Su caso es un poco diferente de los demás.
Okay. Now, sir, you are not here because you have a new charge.
Señor, no, usted no está aquí porque tiene cargos nuevos.
You are here because the police allege that you have an outstanding warrant from another state.
Usted está aquí porque la policía alega que usted tiene una orden de captura en otro estado.
Specifically, they are saying that you have a warrant from the state of Alabama.
En particular, ellos afirman que usted tiene una orden de captura en el estado de Alabama.
So now what you and I need to discuss is whether you would like us to send you back to Alabama so that you can resolve your case, or if you would like to have a hearing here in Georgia where they will decide whether you remain here or if you go back to Alabama.
Entonces, lo que usted y yo tenemos que hablar es que si usted quisiera que lo regresamos a Alabama o si usted prefiere tener una audiencia acá en Georgia para determinar si usted debe ser devuelto para Alabama.
Now, if you tell me that you would like to stay here and have a hearing before going back to Alabama, please understand that the officers in Alabama have 90 days to come here to Georgia and have that hearing with you.
Ahora, si usted quisiera quedarse aquí para que se determine si usted debería volver para Alabama, tiene que saber que los agentes en Alabama tienen un plazo de 90 días para venir por usted acá en Georgia.
Please also understand that if you choose to have that hearing here, that hearing is not about whether you are guilty or innocent, but again, it is about whether they use the correct procedure to try to take you back to Alabama or not.
Y otra cosa, si usted elige quedarse aquí en Georgia para tener la audiencia no se trata de su culpabilidad o inocencia. Es solamente para determinar si los agentes de Alabama utilizaron el procedimiento correcto para devolverlo a Alabama.
Okay. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you may choose to tell me, I would rather simply, Judge, go back to Alabama and deal with the charges rather than stay here.
O, como yo mencioné anteriormente, usted podría decirme sencillamente, señor juez, yo prefiero que me devuelvan a Alabama y así lidiar con el caso que tengo allá.
Okay. Now, with that explanation, Mr. Garcia, would you like to stay here and have that hearing about the procedure, or would you like me to go ahead and make sure that the deputies send you back to Alabama?
Ahora, con esta explicación, señor, ¿quisiera usted quedarse aquí y tener la audiencia sobre el proceso o que yo le informe a los agentes para que lo devuelvan a Alabama?
Voy a ir en Alabama.
I'm going to go to Alabama.
Okay, and so what's going to happen, sir, is there is going to be about 6 or 7 pieces of paper that the deputies will have you sign shortly. And then once you sign those, they will contact Alabama and get that process started for you.
Entonces, señor, lo que va a suceder es que ellos tienen unos 7 o 6 documentos que le va a poner a firmar y una vez que se firme, para iniciar el programa, para contactar a los agentes y devolverlo a Alabama.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Muy bien, señor. Buena suerte.
All right. And deputies, that should be all of the Spanish speaking. Is that correct? Deputy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So then I believe that's all we have for you, Ms. Jartu.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day, you guys.
All right, you too. All right. Give me 1 second, deputies, and I believe that'll take us back on to Jots where we were. Okay, if I remember, deputies, we left off at Mr. Degree, but we should be at Mr. Carl Hunt.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
So it should be Hunt, McKinney, and then McMurrin. All right, so are you Mr. Hunt, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Hunt, you are charged with one count of following too closely as a misdemeanor, one count of hit and run, sir. Those are misdemeanors, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it? I'm sorry?
I'd like to have it.
All right, sir. So I am showing that you are requesting to have your hearing. So if you don't make your bond, sir, your next court date is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's May 13th. That's 8:30 a.m. and that's via Zoom. Now, as it relates to your bond amount here, I'm going to give you the bond on those charges now, okay?
Okay.
Now, as to your bond, sir, excuse me, beginning with the following too closely, your bond amount is $1,500. As to the hit and run, your bond amount is $1,500. Your total bond, sir, is $3,000. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you currently working, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So that means you'll have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you. Unless you got any questions for me, that's all I got, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, good luck to you. All right, next up should be McKinney, and then McMurrin.
Hey, Murray, let me see. Give me McKinney. McKinney.
What is it?
I've got McKinney, McMurrin, and then after that, I've got Sumlin and White, and we should be off guard. McKinney, McMurrin, Sumlin, and White.
This McKinney.
All right, are you Mr. McKinney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you are charged here, excuse me. You are charged here with one count of battery family violence, one count of criminal trespass, and one count of simple assault. Those are all misdemeanors, sir, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have it or waive it?
I'll waive it.
All right, sir. So I am showing here this morning that you are requesting that I waive your right to that hearing. So that means then once we are done, the deputies there to your right, my left, will have a piece of paper for you to sign. Now, as to your bond, sir, the bond amount for the battery is $5,000, the trespass $5,000, the simple assault $5,000 for a total of $15,000. You do have special conditions, sir. I understand here from the warrant that the allegation is that you had physical contact with DeCarlos McKinney, your son. So I am not going to impose a no contact because I understand you all may be living together. I am, however, going to ask that you have no violent or harassing contact with him. And so what that means is you don't threaten him, you don't touch him at all. And if you do, sir, that means you'll be in front of me again and you will sit here with no bond. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Now, so $15,000 is your bond. That is your condition of bond. Are you working right now, sir?
Yes,
How much are you making per month?
around 18 to 2,000.
Okay. So I am, sir, going to go ahead. I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Thank you.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you Mr. McMurrin?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McMurrin, you are charged with one count of felony possession of a telecommunication device by an inmate. That means that you are charged with a felony. And so if you don't make your bond, sir, you're going to have your next court date on May 12th of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's May 12th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Now, your bond amount, sir, on this charge is going to be $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer based on the information I have here this morning. And again, sir, so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Well, all my cases they put in one?
We're, I don't want to get too much into detail on the other ones, but it really just depends on where you are on the other ones. So, I mean, that would be a question I think is better left to your attorney.
Yeah, I was asking because I got a paid lawyer.
Yeah, then, talk with him about it. He can always file what is called the entry of appearance, and then he would be your lawyer on all of these cases.
All right, thanks.
All right, good luck to you.
Sure.
All right, sir. And are you Mr. Sumlin?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so Mr. Sumlin, you are charged here with 1 count of simple assault as a misdemeanor. Now, because it is a misdemeanor, sir, that means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Sir, would you like to have that hearing or waive it? I'm sorry? I believe I heard you say waive that. Is that correct?
Yeah, waive it, I guess.
Okay. So having heard you say waive, sir, that means once we are done here this morning, the deputies will have a piece of paper that they will need you to sign, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond amount, sir, this is again a misdemeanor. Your bond amount is $4,500. You do have special conditions, and those are to stay away from Nicole Brantley, as well as from the address of 2026 Banks Way. So let me tell you, Mr. Sumlin, if that was somewhere that you were living before this alleged incident, remember what I said earlier, you are not to return to that location unless you are accompanied by the sheriff's office and it's within 10 days of your release or your bond has been modified. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions for me, sir?
You said that bond one more time, sir?
4,500.
Thanks.
All right, sir. Good luck to you. And are you Mr. White?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. White, you are charged with 1 count of reckless driving, 1 count of improper lane change, and 1 count of affixing of a plate to conceal an identity. Otherwise, they're alleging that you placed a fake tag over another. Those are all misdemeanors. Hold on. Let me get through what I've got to get through first. Those are all misdemeanors, sir. Now, looking at the information I have before me, I want to advise you, I've gone ahead and made the decision that I'm going to release you here this morning. Now, because I'm going to release you, that does not mean that your case is closed. Let me be clear that all that simply means is you'll be out until you get a letter in the mail telling you that you have your next court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
What I strongly advise you, sir, is before you leave today or at some point, let the sheriff's office know what your best known address is. That way you want to make sure that you get that letter in the mail and you don't get a warrant out for your arrest, okay?
All right. Do you know if they'll release that's a dealer's plate. I sell cars. That's my dealer plate. Do you know if they get that back to me?
I mean, if you consider that to not be of evidence and of use to them, possibly, but I doubt it, considering, based on your charges, that appears that that's going to be evidence they may use against you. So I wouldn't bank on it. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thanks.
All right, Deputy, that should be everybody on JOTS. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so I've got first here, is it a Mr. Joshua Allen?
Yes, sir.
All right, are you Mr. Allen?
Sir.
Mr. Allen, you are charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting as a misdemeanor and 1 count of criminal trespass also as a misdemeanor for a total bond, sir, of, your bond amount of theft by shoplifting is $1,500. The criminal trespass, $2,500. So your total bond, sir, is going to be $4,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You do have a special condition, sir. And that special condition is to stay away from the address of 7050 Highway 75. Highway 85. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions so far, sir?
I can't get no bond, sir.
No, sir. You do have a bond, but you will not get a signature bond today, sir. Next question I have for you, Mr. Allen. You are charged with misdemeanors here, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that preliminary hearing. I don't know if you heard me describe it for you earlier, but you can either have it or waive it, sir. Which would you like to do?
I have it.
All right. I am going to show here, sir, that you are requesting your preliminary hearing. And so your next court date, sir, if you don't make your bond, is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's May 13th, 8:30 a.m. And that's via Zoom. Do you understand that? Now, based on the information, Mr. Allen, that you provided to me this morning, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. And so you will not have to pay for a lawyer. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right. Any questions for me, sir?
Sir.
All right, then that's all I have for you, sir. Good luck to you. All right, next up should be Mr. Bentley. Are you Mr. Bentley?
Yes, sir.
Lenore Bentley? Mr. Bentley, you are charged with 1 count of felony murder, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and 1 count of aggravated assault. As to each charge, sir, you're on a no bond status. So because of that, Mr. Bentley, a couple of things. One, you got a couple court dates coming up. The first date is going to be your preliminary hearing, sir. That's going to be May 12th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's May 12th, 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Your bond hearing date where they can reconsider bond is going to be May 16th at 8:30 a.m. And that's also going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that? Mr. Bentley?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, because of the information you provided, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that? Sir,
Yes, sir.
do you have any questions of me about anything?
Don't know how I was charged with all this. I'm the victim.
Well, so I mean, again, like I told you all at the beginning, I don't want to get into the details. But there's an allegation that you took the life, it appears to be of a relative of yours during an altercation. Beyond that, sir, you want to talk to your lawyer about it, okay?
Thanks.
Good luck to you. All right, next up should be Mr. Roland Ferguson. And behind Ferguson, I have Myron Franklin. Are you Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ferguson, you were charged with 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. It carries a preset bond of $1,000, sir. That is a misdemeanor, Mr. Ferguson. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, Mr. Ferguson. All right, so Mr. Ferguson, that is a misdemeanor. And so because that's a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that hearing, sir. Would you like to have it or waive it? I'm sorry?
I have it, but I was trying to figure out if I can get a signature bond today.
No, you cannot, sir.
Don't ask for it.
All right, yeah, I had the money to bond out on me now in my property.
Okay, no problem. Now, based on the information you provided here, sir, on your court-appointed paperwork, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so that means you will have to hire your own as well. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions about anything, sir?
I was wondering, cause like when I was down there booking, they said something about a lieutenant was gonna take me down there so I can bond out today. That's what I was trying to do. I gotta be to work tomorrow.
So I can't comment on that, anything that happened in the jail. All I can do is tell you where you are as of right now, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir. Are you Mr. Franklin?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Mr. Franklin, you were charged with 1 count of criminal trespass as a misdemeanor, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce also as a misdemeanor. Now, because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do? Have the hearing or waive it?
I really don't know nothing about it. I'll waive it, I guess.
Well, let me explain to you before you just say you don't know anything about it and that's what you want to do. A preliminary hearing is a hearing where you're present, the judge is present, the police officer's present, and you, of course, and your attorney, and it's where they'll review the evidence against you. Now, it's not your trial, but it is a position where the judge, if he determines that there's not enough evidence against you, can dismiss it. Doesn't mean they can't bring it back, but it would dismiss your case. Now, you can tell me, Judge, I don't want to have that hearing. Go ahead, send it to the prosecutor. It does make it move a little faster, but other than that, that's really the big difference. It's just another opportunity for a judge to see your case and determine if there's enough evidence.
I'll waive it.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Franklin, I am going to show that you've requested that we waive your hearing this morning. And so once we are done here this morning, sir, the deputies to your right, my left, will have a piece of paper for you to sign. I have reviewed the information here that you provided this morning, sir. And based on the information that you've provided to me, I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer, okay?
Sir.
All right, do you have any questions of me, Mr. Franklin?
No, sir.
All right, sir, then I believe that's all I have for you. Good luck to you. Next up should be Jackson. And then after Jackson, I've got Johnstone, McKinney, and Morgan. All right, are you Mr. Robert Jackson?
Yes, sir. All right.
Mr. Robert Jackson, you were charged with 1 count of battery, family violence as a misdemeanor. Sir, I reviewed your warrant this morning. I will tell you there was some information that was missing that I needed in order to move forward on your warrant. Because I did not have that information, sir, I made the decision to dismiss the warrant against you. Now, let me be clear, sir, that does not mean that your case has gone away entirely, because the prosecutor or the police could choose to bring it back. But as of today, sir, your case is dismissed and you'll be released in a few hours. Good luck to you.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Johnstone.
Sir.
The rods on my shoulder.
Well, sir, you good? Take your time.
Please.
You good? I get paper here, you good?
All right, are you Mr. Johnstone? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnstone, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass as a misdemeanor. Because you are charged with a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, sir, or waive it?
I'll let them have.
All right, sir. So if you don't make the bond that I'm going to give you this morning, your next court date is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's going to be May 13th, 8:30 a.m., and that will be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you do have special conditions, sir, and those will be to stay away from the Atlanta airport. And so you were only permitted to return to the airport if it is for work or for travel. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about anything for me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir, then that's all I have for you. Because you have waived your preliminary hearing, sir, the deputy is there to your right, my left. We'll have a piece of paper for you to sign, all right? All right, good luck to you. All right, next up should be Morgan. Then after Morgan, I've got Reed, Roy, and Sadler. Are you Mr. Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Morgan, you're charged here with 1 count of disorderly conduct as a misdemeanor, 1 count of terroristic threat act of a misdemeanor. Because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it, sir?
Have it.
All right, sir. So I am showing you've requested I set that hearing date. Your next court date, should you not make the bond I'm going to give you, is going to be May 13th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that? You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, after your bond amount, the disorderly conduct, your bond is $1,500. As to the terroristic threat, sir, I have gone ahead and I've dismissed that charge actually for you. So the only charge you have remaining that you'll have to face at this point is the disorderly conduct. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything, sir?
No.
All right, sir, then that's all I have for you. Good luck to you.
Okay.
And what's your last name, sir?
Ross, Roy.
Okay. Right, so Mr. Roy, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, sir. That is a misdemeanor. Because you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it, sir?
What's the difference in the both of them? I can't see you though, sir.
Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second here. If you choose to have that hearing, the preliminary hearing is a hearing where you're present, the judge is present. Uh-oh, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, but I can't see nothing. They got
Oh, what-
the change up.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Can you see me now? Uh-oh. I don't know why he kicked him. What happened there with him? Is that you, Rochelle? Who is iPhone 61? Hello? Hello? Hello?
All right, here we go.
All right, can you hear me, Deputy?
Yes, Your Honor, I can hear you.
All right, I believe was it Mr. Roy, I believe?
Yes, sir. Actually, Your Honor, can I check?
Listen to the judge.
Okay.
Behind your back and stay off the wall, please.
Now, Mr. Roy, I'm happy to hear what you got to say, but you know, like I've told everybody before, you be careful what you say to me, okay? This is being recorded, so I don't want you to say anything that's gonna hurt you, okay? Do you understand that, Mr. Roy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what's your question, sir?
I thought I was charged with public, public transportation. I mean, public trespassing.
Okay, give me 1 second, Mr. Roy.
Because I got a citation for it. They gave me the
So
citation.
what they charge you with on the warrant application that I have is 1 count of trespass, alleging that you were at looks at you at the airport that you weren't supposed to be there. So that's a misdemeanor. Now, I was asking you whether you wanted to waive your right to the preliminary hearing or to have the hearing. Would you like to have the hearing or waive it, sir?
What's the difference between the both?
If you want to have the hearing, that means you, your attorney, the judge, and the police officers present, and they'll present evidence showing what they have against you to determine if your case should proceed forward to the solicitor's office. Or you can say, Judge, I don't even want to have it. Just skip it, make it go a little faster so we can get it resolved, in which case I will waive your hearing today. So would you like to have it or waive it, sir?
Wait a minute.
All right, so I am going to show that you requested that I waive your hearing. Are you currently working?
No, sir. Wait.
All right, sir. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge for you, okay? Do you understand that, Mr. Roy?
Yes, sir. But can I ask you one question about the citation I got for?
Sir, I don't have any anything to do with that, Mr. Roy. So I mean, all I can tell you is what the warrant tells you, which is what I have to go off of.
Mr. Roy, go around.
Thank you, Mr. Roy.
But so what do I?
Go ahead.
Your bond amount, Mr. Roy, your bond amount is $2,500 right now. So you're in custody until you make that bond or your prelim day. That's it.
What's the prelim day? You didn't say.
I did May 13th.
He waived it.
He just said.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize. You waived it. Yep, you waived it. Remember, you said you didn't want it. So here's what's got to happen, Mr. Roy. Your bond amount is $2,500. You're either going to make that bond or your case is going to go to the prosecutor. The prosecutor then is going to accuse you, meaning he's going to charge your case. And then you got an attorney. So an attorney can either try to help you with the bond, get your bond reduced, or get you out on the OR, or you're going to get to court. And then when you get to court, you're going to decide what you want to do, whether you want to plead guilty, whether you want a trial. But, you know, in the next month or two, it'll be about trying to figure out that bond and whether you can make the bond. And if not, then like I said, you'll be sitting there until the prosecutor can get your case accused.
Now, is it now the thing with the
Mr. Roy, we're not gonna keep going back and forth with the judge.
Roy, we're not gonna discuss OR.
Because I'm sort of like I'm trying to educate myself, like I'm not.
This is not,
Mr. Roy, we're not gonna discuss ORs. I don't do ORs, so I heard that part of it. It's not gonna happen.
Go around, Mr. Roy. Go around this way.
And are you Mr. Sadler?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Mr. Sadler, you are charged with 1 count of felony violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, 1 count of possession with intent as a felony, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, driving with a suspended license, and obstruction as a misdemeanor. The felony drugs carries a bond of $15,000. The firearm carries a bond of $10,000. The possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, $10,000. The suspended license, $1,500. Obstruction, $1,500. And on the possession with intent, sir, I have dismissed that warrant against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So your total bond, sir, is $38,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, because you are charged with a felony, sir, if you don't make your bond that I just gave you, your next court date is going to be May 12th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's going to be May 12th. That's going to be 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Mr. Sadler?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions I can answer for you, sir?
No, sir. I would just have one question. I was trying to see, could you request me a property release?
No, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I believe that's all, Your Honor.
All right, so just a couple of questions, Deputy. I had a Walton and a Arias. That's-
Both B and B. They bond
Okay.
out.
Okay. All right. All right. So then, and then there was that had paperwork on a Santiago, I think it's Sedone Mandala. Did y'all have Santiago Solano?
No, we didn't have her.
Everybody here's my back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then that's all we got. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good one.
All right.